And here it is, right here. Here I am, right here, and hope you are there. Roll up, ladies and gentlemen. Woman went to more. Here it is, right here. Here I am, situated. I hope you are situated with me as we commence with matters that we left just a minute ago. It's still Nigeria, and we're still in trouble. But let's gather together, plot our way out of this situation we find ourselves as a country. One man went to mow. The eagle has landed.
National anthem, Mr. Albert Congo raises the flag of the new nation.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians old and proud to serve our sovereign motherland. Our flag shall be a symbol that truth and justice reign. In peace or battle honored, and this we count as gain. To hang unto our children a banner without stain. O God of all creation, grant this our one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed, and so with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed.
And there it is, right there. Arise, O compatriot, Nigeria call, obey. So, arise, O compatriot, Nigeria calls, obey. As guys, I bring you this. Nigeria will become developed like Kogi if I am president. Yaya Bello, the one that did not pay salaries in Kogi State for 2 years, to the point that Aisha Buhari had to mount a rostrum and go on her knees to beg the people of Kogi State to re-elect him. They rejected him, of course, at the polls, but nevertheless, you know that no election took place in 2019. They just wrote figures and returned him. Same thing, Ganduje, same thing, Fayemi. So he were promising to continue as you were. Nigeria will become developed like Kogi if I am president, a headline attributed to the rascal in Kogi State that goes by the name Yahaya Bello. So from Yahaya Bello, why consensus may force Tinubu out of APC? So if they agree a consensus, almost certainly that would not be in favor of Tinubu because Tinubu is not popular within the APC. So if they do agree a consensus before the primaries, then that is the end of this guy's political career. But if his political career ends, are they able to intimidate him enough for him not to rebel rouse? Or will he just damn everything and set out to destroy them? But that is not the nature of the man as we know it. He will still try and negotiate what he can out of it. But it looks as though the final drum beat have been the final track, you know, the DJ is playing the final music on Tinubu's political ambitions. Why consensus may force Tinubu out of the APC. So quite what's led to that headline we find out shortly. We find this out shortly as well. I don't know whether there will be a 2023 election yet. Pastor Enoch Adeboye of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, that's the person speaking, and a lot of people defer to this guy as being somewhat of a seer. So yet not gotten that signal to make a pronouncement is what he's saying. So never mind who is going to become president. He's saying he doesn't even know if there will be an election. I don't know whether there will be 2023 election yet. A headline attributed to Enoch Adeboye. I will never I have never voted. Still the same person, Adeboye. He has never voted. So quite why he has never voted, we find out shortly. And we land on this. Anti-graft agency EFCC arrest Cubana chief priest over alleged money laundering, tax evasion. So that voodoo money space in the East are always in play. We all knew that very quickly they'll start to round them up, and they're even taking longer than I anticipated to round them up. These are Obi Kubana and Kuba the Money and E Money and X Money. All these are rascality and voodoo behavior that we have in the East. So all of that now it looks as though the authorities are weighing down upon that. So everything in place. So lean back, as I said, kick back, as I said, take it easy, as I said, relax into it. But as you relax into it, click on the like and subscribe button because that helps us to propel within the YouTube algorithm space. So as you set about the clickings, have your calabash to hand as we join the Kegites for a bit of our palm wine drinking. So to the Kegites.
Only water, water, only water, where they see ma. Water, 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 water.
Only water, where they see ma.
Hapa o naido. Hapa o naido. Hapa you don't come o. Hapa o naido. Oro kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mùrè o. Ilé sọ́díyà kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mùrè o. Kọ́fí màsítà kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mùrè o. Chifu fáìlà tí kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mùrè o. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹlẹ́mùdé. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹgbẹ́ ẹlẹ́mùdóde ojàre o. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ Ghana ti dé ẹgbẹ́ bọ́ọ̀dì o. Ọmọ ẹlẹ́yẹ ẹ̀yẹ o ó dilé o. Odúyẹ̀lá ẹ̀yẹ o ó dilé o. Petrosonana ẹ̀yẹ o ó dilé o. Petrosodúnkẹ́ ẹ̀yẹ rẹ̀ ó dilé o. Ẹlẹ́kọ̀ ọ̀run mú ìní o. Àkùkọ ọ̀run mẹ́kọ̀. Ikú kò ní ríwà gbéṣe o.
And there you heard it from the Kegites. Eleko Orun Muinio Akoko Orun Meiko. Iku Kuniriwa Gbeshe. So may death have nothing to do with us. So that is the prayer, an everlasting eternal prayer. May death have nothing to do with us. Iku Kuniriwa Gbeshe. So Iku Kuniriwa Gbeshe, as guys I bring you this. Nigeria will become developed like Kogi if I am president. A headline attributed to Yaya Bello. Governor Yaya Bello says he will replicate what he has done in Kogi State if elected Nigeria's president in 2023. I am running for president because I see a bright light shining at the end of the tunnel for our nation, Bello said on Saturday. I am not one of those who always see doom. What God has helped us to do in Kogi State, by the grace of God, we will replicate the same in Nigeria. Mr. Bello said this whilst declaring to contest for the 2023 presidential election at the Eagle Square in Abuja. Despite the difficulties we face today, the privilege of being a Nigerian is one that I cherish so dearly. Dear friends and fellow patriots, I wish to declare my intention to run for president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in the 2023 general election, he said. Mr. Bello, 46, assumed office as Kogi State Governor in 2015 and became famous for his administration's failure to pay civil servant salaries. In 2019, he won re-election are judged by both foreign and local observers to be marred with widespread violence. So they killed him back into office. A lot of people were killed in the course of this guy seizing that seat again. I'm not going to use the word re-election because he was never elected. Uh, in the first instance, certainly in 2019, a lot of Dino Melaye lost family members. Natasha Akwa something or the other. She was brutalized and traumatized. There was a PDP chairperson, chair lady that was burnt in her house in that state, and that was how they forced this guy back on that seat. So nothing. I'm not going to use the word re-election, but that is what they've written. In 2019, he won re-election, judged by both foreign and local observers to be marred uh, by widespread violence. So yes, we also saw how it played out in that space. Why, pardon me, why consensus may force Tinubu out of the APC? There are feelers that the ruling All Progressive Congress APC may very likely pick its presidential candidate for the 2023 election by consensus, as it was done in the just concluded National Convention. Correspondents also gathered that those mulling the idea of using consensus to elect the presidential candidate of the party have been able to sell the idea to President Mohamed Buhari, whom is said to be willing to go along with the idea. A top source within the party, who is also close to Aso Rock Villa, told correspondents that the party's presidential ticket would surely go to the south, but refused to disclose which part of the south it would go. Another source who spoke in the same direction disclosed that the national leader of the party, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is definitely not going to be the consensus candidate of the party. From all indications, we are going to elect the presidential candidate through a consensus, and what we are looking at is a candidate that will be accepted by all Nigerians. Someone who is still very agile and not too old. Somebody that is well experienced with fly somebody who is well experienced will fly our party's flag. That is all I can tell you for now, the source said. When asked what other criteria the party would consider in choosing its flag bearer, the source said, we have been mindful to give a sense of belonging to all ethnic groups and religions. We must be fair to them, and that is the reality of where we are as a country. Now, let's just scroll up a bit. Now that we have Senator Abdullahi Adamu as our national chairman, it will not be out of place to have a Christian as a presidential candidate and a Muslim from the north as his running mate. The South is not short the South is not in short supply of credible party members that would build on the foundation of President Mohamed Buhari. For some of us, money is the least factor in choosing the party's presidential candidate. Meanwhile, the party's members who are loyal to Tinubu are insisting on an open primary that will involve delegate, pardon me. Meanwhile, the party members who are loyal to Tinubu are insisting on an open primary that will involve delegates of the party to elect the presidential candidate of the party. Last Sunday, the Southwest agenda for Ashiwaju 2023 swagger said the idea of a consensus presidential candidate for the party is unacceptable as it will cause rancor and division in the party. Bosun Oladele, Swagger's national secretary, said the issue of consensus will not be acceptable as all intending aspirants should be made to slug it out for the ticket, whilst insisting that nobody should try to get the APC presidential ticket through the back door. Oladele said, there is nothing like consensus presidential candidate. There will be that will be a shortcut, which they know cannot be possible through a primary if all aspirants file out on the field. Nobody should think of getting the ticket through the back door. Don't forget Asiwaju Tinubu deliberately said he has the capacity. So I believe that the number one requirement for anybody that wants to contest the election, whoever is contesting, let them go to the field and show their capacity. After all, if not for contested primaries, would it have been possible for Buhari to emerge in 2015? I believe if he had emerged by consensus then, there would have been serious protest and division in the party. Everybody everybody saw that the process that produced him was free and fair, devoid of any imposition. So that is what we should be looking at, not a consensus arrangement. But the argument against the position of Tinubu's camp is that he, Tinubu, has never allowed delegates to vote for the gubernatorial candidate of his party as far as Lagos State is concerned, said the source. He has always imposed a candidate of his choice. Towards the expiration of his 8 years in office as governor of Lagos State, he brought Fashola and imposed him on the party as a consensus candidate, despite the fact that Fashola never showed interest in the position. At that time, all the party members such as Tokunbo, Afi Kuyomi, Ganiyu Solomon, and others who showed interest in taking over from where he was were pushed aside. Fashola was then his chief of staff and relatively an inactive member of the then Action Congress. At the end of Fashola's tenure, he imposed Ambode again as a consensus candidate despite the countless number of active party members who also desired the office of governor of Lagos State. In 2019, the same thing occurred in the case of Sanwo-Olu. I don't know why he and his supporters are insisting on an open election by delegates as against the picking of a consensus candidate. Has he, Tinubu, not been doing this in Lagos and no one complained? Why does he want a different approach now he is an aspirant? The source added, Tinubu is not bigger than the party, and his followers should know that he is not the owner of the APC. If the party is going to elect its presidential candidate and he, Tinubu, is not favored by the arrangement, heavens will not fall. They must know that the APC national body is not APC Lagos chapter. So the plot to sideswipe Tinubu continues apace. But is Tinubu is even wasting his time is the question. I don't know whether there will be a 2023 election yet. Pastor Adeboye speaking. The general overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Pastor Enoch Adeboye, says he does not know whether or not there will be an election in 2023 yet. The 80-year-old cleric said God has not told him whether there would be an election next year. He said God spoke to him about the 2019 election more than a year to the election, but the case has not been so for the 2023 election. He quickly added that God might speak to him about the 2023 general election, but he has not spoken to him yet. The cleric said he was more concerned about Kaduna killings, oil theft, Nigeria's depressing debt profile, and other current national challenges. Adeboye also said politics is not his calling and he would never be a politician. He stressed that he does not support any so he was doing so well until we got here. He stressed that he does not support any presidential aspirant or ahead of the 2023 general election. The octogenarian preacher said this Sunday at the monthly Thanksgiving service of the church. Adeboye said the clarification was important amidst criticism against the church's creation of a politics directorate and the instruction to members to be politically involved in the 2023 process. Adeboye has said, sorry, I need to just click this now because it's bothering me so much. Okay, so let's just, yeah, there it is. Adeboye said, listen to me carefully, and if you are going to quote me correctly. I am saying to those of you who are my children, do you want to know the truth and nothing but the truth? I am talking of myself now. As of now, as I am standing before you, I still don't know whether or not there will be an election next year. Don't say that Pastor Adeboye said there would not be an election next year. That is not what I said. Adeboye does not know yet. Put the word yet. How come you don't know? How come you don't know? Because my father has not talked to me yet. But the last, how come you don't know? Because my father has not talked to me yet. The last time we had an election, he, God, spoke to me about the election by June of the previous year, and this is April. So it is not late, but he hasn't told me yet. The octogenarian thereafter threw a challenge to the congregation seated before him. Adeboye said, he, God, must have told you. Some of you are prophets. You are closer to him. But is there any one of you here who can raise your hand to heaven and say without doubt there will be an election in 2023? If you can tell us, stand up, and we will clap for a prophet. I don't know yet. Remember to put the word yet, he emphasized. So he does not know yet, as he insists, we must say. Why I have never voted, Pastor Adeboye is still speaking. General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, RCCG, Pastor Enoch Adeboye, on Sunday, said he has never voted because RCCG is mainly represented in all parties. Adeboye, who spoke at the church's Thanksgiving service in Lagos, said voting for one will be unjust to the rest of his children. He stressed that everyone has the right to join any political party, but his duty was to pray, and he will keep doing that. My assignment has nothing to do with partisan politics. Politics is not my calling, but to be a pastor. I have never told you I have never told you this is the fellow you should vote for or party you should vote for. In RCCG, every party is mainly represented. I am a father of all, and I like it that way. I am not a politician, and I never will be. The only reason I have never voted is that if I vote for one, I will be unjust to the rest of my children. I am a father of all. As a Nigerian, you must register, vote, and make sure that your vote counts. You are a Nigerian first before becoming a Christian. Nobody is born a Christian. You are a true Christian when you give your life to Christ. You must vote and make sure there is no rigging. You have a duty to belong to any political party of your choice at the grassroots. You can't sit down and fold your hands, refuse to vote, and begin to complain about the government, he said. So there it is right there. So now the last readout. Anti-graft agency EFCC arrest Cubana's chief priest over alleged money laundering, tax evasion. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has arrested Nigerian socialite Pascal Okechukwu, aka known as aka or means also known as, by the way. Yeah. So the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) has arrested Nigerian socialite Pascal Okechukwu, aka Cubana chief priest, on charges bordering on money laundering and tax evasion. Correspondence report. He was arrested at the Lagos airport on Thursday, but anti-graft officials hushed the development amidst pressure from his associates and family, who said the matter could complicate conditions for others likely connected to the alleged racket. Okechukwu's arrest has made it impossible for him to return birthday greetings from his nearly 4 million Instagram followers, with only his wife being permitted to see him in custody. The matter is still under investigation, correspondents quote a source as saying. His arrest came weeks after he called on the anti-graft agency to free Obinna Enyegu, also known as Obi Kubana, adding that Igbos were used to EFCC treatment. EFCC had also arrested Obi Kubana over allegations of money laundering and tax evasion. So this is the tone that you get. This is what we're saying evolving out of the East, acts of criminality hidden under ethnicity. Sorry, I see you. And the mighty Ajanle Koko, I see you. So good to have you, gentlemen. So let me come to you first, Solly. Solly, are you there? Look at this guy. He's going to smoke Igbo again. Solly, are you there? Ajale Koko, are you there? All right. Okay. I don't seem to have anybody, so I'll leave it there. Are you there? Oh, okay.
One man, I'm here. I'm here. I
Oh,
was
oh,
just
oh.
on a phone call.
You mean you were smoking something funny? Look at this guy. So say good to have you, Solly. Yeah.
Good
Yeah,
afternoon.
there's some system issues with Ajanle Koko, so we're not hearing him quite just yet. But good afternoon, Solly. Good to have you. So Solly, let me take you then to where I ended up. I'm sure you are young and funky somebody. You'll be following that Instagram happenings. Chief priest, they call him Cubana chief priest. He now arrested for money laundering and tax evasion. So there's always been the anticipation that that particular group of people, they were just they are an imprisonment waiting to happen, especially after the demonstration that we saw at the funeral of Obi Kubana's mother's burial. So what are you then making of this development? Kubana chief priest arrested over money laundering, tax evasion, and Obi Kubana already, of course, in custody. They are sweeping them up one by one. Solid.
Well, if there's nothing there, especially knowing EFCC, I don't think they will go there. And you know how Nigeria is now. They always have something else that they are doing inside because Nigeria is not a country. Once you start doing some things, immediately the security system start getting alerted. You can do some things for a long time, and the security system and the financial system will not be alerted for a long time. So people really, that's why some people even love Nigeria because they can get away with things easily and quickly there.
Because it's a lawless country. But
Yeah,
what are you making of this? What is fast evolving as a development? Whenever somebody is captured for clear-cut criminal activities, we saw it with Obiano. Now we're seeing it with this Kubana bunch. They quickly go to ethnicity and claim that they're being targeted for reasons of
oh
ethnicity.
man.
So this is what he is using now. So that now seems to be the template. And once they call that ethnicity into it, the whole tribe rallies behind that act.
Very delusional.
We saw a pastor on the rostrum telling us that Obiano can steal as much as he likes. He's an Igbo man. What are you making of this development?
One man, this tribalism thing is getting too tiring. Everybody has moved on from it, except I would say the East. I would say it, yes, except the East. We Yoruba people don't care. If you want to, if you, it's because the guy is popular. If you go to the North, I'm sure there's someone that they arrested for the same kind of thing. If you go to the West, I'm sure there's somebody that they've arrested for the same kind of thing. But once it's the East, they start to form one kind of big conspiracy scheme. So I like, relax. It happens to everybody. It does. You don't have to put tribe into that. That stops crime. That stops security issues. It's just like same thing in the US that they'll be having issues when a black person commits crime. They can easily run to racism. But sometimes the black guy did commit the crime though. If we're being honest, so it's becoming.
Do you think the Igbos are the Nigerian blacks?
They're not. I don't
They
think
are
anybody
not.
really
You don't think they
cares.
are targeted? Are
One
they not
man,
targeted? Are they not
one
the
man,
blacks in Nigeria?
one man.
Why is solely using American black guy? Why don't you
No,
use
it's
where you are?
something most of
Why
us will
don't you use the
understand here.
country where you are?
You know
Why
the
are you using
Americans are
America?
very guarded about their
Uh,
country.
why are you
One
using
man,
America?
one
You
man.
live
Okay,
in
okay. Let me use
which country
Nigeria.
you are?
Let me
Eh?
let me use
He
Nigeria.
lives in the Netherlands. Do you live in the
Yes,
Netherlands?
use
Yeah.
Netherlands where you live so that the whole world can
It's
know
the
what's
same
going on. Why are
thing.
you using America?
Oh, Achale Coco is the same thing.
But the
Netherlands
Netherlands
is like the
Yeah,
same thing.
the Netherlands is far more civilized than America, though.
Yes.
what do you
The
mean
Netherlands is
civilized?
like Lagos, but
Because
better.
they actually treat each other like human beings and they act
Yes.
like human beings, unlike the
Yes.
Americans.
What do you mean by Netherlands? Who told you that American doesn't treat them people like human beings? Who told you that?
It's
America is
all
the most
it's
generous.
what
America
Have
is
you
the most
seen
generous country in the
Achale Coco,
world.
have you seen a Dutch prison? You want to compare it to America?
just talk about Dutch. Don't talk about. You don't know anything in America. You watch all this nonsense on TV. You think that is the way everything is in America.
Is it not? Is that
Are you
not
okay?
what Mike
Are
comes
you
here to
okay?
tell us every day now that
Are you okay?
anytime
Use your
anytime you
Dutch.
leave your house,
Use your
anytime
Dutch.
you
Have
leave
you
your
been to
house is
America before? Have you
Do
been
they
to America
rehabilitate
before?
but
prisoners
the
in
Americans
America?
come to
Have
tell
you
us now.
been to America before?
Do they
But Mike lives
rehabilitate
in
criminals
America
in
now. He
America?
tells us that you carry your gun and you shoot or be killed every
Yes,
single
we
day.
have gone for our own protection. That
Every
if
single
anybody
day,
wants to
you either
harass
kill
you,
somebody or
you can
somebody
defend
kills you.
yourself. No, it's for defense.
All
It's
It's
right.
for
for
defense.
defense. Is that
It's
not
such
what
a
your
criminal
Nigerians are
state that
going
you
for
have to
now?
defend yourself with gun. Eh?
Yes.
Ah,
Yes.
and you say they are more
Use your
civilized.
Netherlands. You don't
And you
know.
say they
You
are more
think
civilized.
Netherlands is not. It's not bigger than my city. The city where
Yes.
you are comparing your Netherlands to America. Do you know how big America is?
What does that have to do with the argument?
It has a lot to do. That to tell you what's the population of America, compared to Netherlands. What's the population of
America
Netherlands?
is
You
about
tell me.
300 and something.
Okay,
Netherlands is
what's the population? Uh-huh.
about 17 to 20 million.
17. 17.
Mhm. Yes.
Are you serious? You are
That
comparing 17 to
that's why I
300
said
plus.
it's just like Lagos.
Do you
I
know
say it's
how
just
many?
like
Do you
Lagos.
know how many race and tribe that we have in America? Do you
Okay,
know?
but what does that
But
have to do with the
It
Netherlands
argument?
has
is
a lot. Don't use
multi-ethnic.
America for example. Just use your
Netherlands is
Netherlands.
Has many
Or you
multi-ethnic.
use,
races too.
or you just or base your argument on Nigeria, on the situation in Nigeria that
Netherlands is
you
as
being
multi-ethnic as
reported.
America.
Okay, concentrate
Don't
on
mention America
concentrate
again. Oh, sorry, the
concentrate
Americans don't like it.
concentrate on Nigerian situation.
Okay. Let me
Okay,
talk about
yes.
Nigeria. Let me talk about
Uh,
Nigeria. Okay. So some of these crimes there,
yes.
they do it in the East. They do it. But if they can quickly run to I am being marginalized, it starts to look somehow. If you want me to use Nigeria examples, are we going to say that all of them are not committing the crime that they are being forwarded with?
But leaving the ethnicity to one side, like I said, this Kobe Kubana bunch, they were just an imprisonment waiting to happen.
Yeah.
Because if you know that your hands are not that clean, then you don't shine the torchlight on yourself, do you? So that
Ah,
vulgar demonstration that we saw that this guy put on, they were throwing money all over the place, riding on cows,
yeah, but
you
one man,
know.
everybody does that though. Everybody does that.
It was
They do
so
it in the north.
it
They do
was
it
so
in
vulgar
one
that
man. No,
the
no, I
attention had
disagree.
to do. Was it
I
not vulgar?
disagree. I disagree. They do it in the north. They do it in the west also. Just that in the west we don't do it like that. But in the north they do it something similar, or maybe
You
even
will be riding on the
much higher.
streets on an open
Yes,
top cart,
they do
throwing
it.
money at
One
people,
man, they do it.
and
They spray money at weddings. They spray money. They
500.
do
No,
it.
that's praying now. Did you not see the
One
Cubana
man, I
burial?
saw no difference with what they did and
One
in
man, let me tell you
but
this.
one
Is
man, I think that they
it
target
is
people in the
Saudi
east.
generation that throw money up like that.
No, yeah, we
All
spray
this
it. If you
crazy
want to spray it,
generation
we
of
will spray it.
people we have now.
If you want to spray, there's an elegance to spraying money now. It's not the way you guys are doing
Yes,
it
but
now.
one
Yes,
man, the reason
Like
why I think
some Adekunle something.
yeah, the reason why I think
Yeah.
they target them in the East is because they know that the East doesn't really have any strong backing. If consider yourself, if you are working in EFCC, who is the easiest for you to catch in terms of ethnicity? It's going to be the East. So they are just doing easy job for them. You have to remember that these people are very lazy minded too.
But the one thing that I would condemn that Cubana space on is sudden money. Now, this is a guy nobody knew, and suddenly he's acting like a dollar billionaire with
Yeah, but it's
money
not sudden money
money
though. They've
money
been in
money
business
money
for a long time.
that does not have audit, money that you
One
cannot
man. We
audit.
didn't know about Jeff Bezos for a long time.
Olowo Ojiji, we call them in Yoruba land. Olowo Ojiji, you
One
know.
man, we didn't know about Jeff Bezos for a long
eh?
time. We didn't know about Elon Musk for a long time.
Olówó ọ̀sán
You know,
gangan.
Olowo
that
Osangangan,
doesn't mean anything. Some people may have been
went to
so
bed
busy making money.
poor, woke up a billionaire,
No,
and
they've
then
been
you
in
are
business
telling
for
us
a
that
long
it's
time.
hard work. Hard work, kilo
They've been
jebe.
in business for a long time, just that they were not
Not
shouting.
in common now. Look at that. Look at that. So the EFCC then they are sweeping them up one by one, but they are going to tribe as is the usual way with Nigeria. Uh So let me take you to this space, Solik. Yaya Bello throws his heart in the ring, promising us that he wants, telling us he wants to be president, and promising us to turn Nigeria to Kogi State. So, what would you respond then to this young man
You
wanting
know
to be
the
president? Yeah.
you know the difference between Nigerians and I don't want to sound like Nnamdi Kanu now, but white people. Would you tell a white man this and he'll believe you? But these Nigerians, they will believe this man, whether it's for money, whether it's for opportunity, whether it doesn't matter what it's for, whether it's because of the same ethnicity, whether it's because of it, they always just have an excuse to believe stupidity, you know. So what can we do about it, one man? You
But
know,
when he's coming out to tell us that his campaign promise is that Nigeria will carry on
yes,
as it is,
what I'm saying is like,
how would that be a recommendation for us to, just as a standalone? You say, oh, you carry on with Buhari's legacy and you turn Nigeria into Kogi State. You did not pay salaries. That's the only thing we know Kogi State for.
for
And
this state
Buhari killed
is
everybody. That is
busting.
what we know him for. And that is what you are promising for the future.
He's such a, what I'm saying is that he said such a stupid statement, knowing fully well that you believe his stupid statement. You
What
know,
is making you laugh? Is it the comment section? They're attacking you
no, it's not the
already.
comment section. It's just that one man, if you are in that crowd,
Yeah.
you will see the people left and right beside you believing what he's saying and accepting it as their future. That's the laughing matter about it. Stupidity reigns. A blind man.
Nigeria does need a generational shift though, and this guy is 46, so it's perfect for the age
We
bracket.
had Desmond
But,
Elliot now. We can never forget that. We
uh,
can never forget that. No, we too, we know the risk of bringing in a youth. It's
mm.
not as if we just want youth in fully. We too, we are scared, but we just want a change too. We are very scared. Look at Desmond. He really disappointed. He really disappointed. Just unforgettable.
All right. So the APC, they are mulling over because they've done the consensus convention, which went relatively smoothly, they would describe for themselves. So they're now looking to repeat that for the primaries, to have a consensus primaries. So if they have consensus, that is the end of Tinubu's ambition. Tinubu's camp, they're saying we go to the field and we battle it out. But the people that have the ears of Malam Buhari, they are saying to the space that forget any primaries. We are going to have a consensus just like we did with the convention. They said the power will come to the south. That one is not being quibbled, but it will not go to Tinubu. That will never happen. So this consensus idea now is anti-democracy by my reckoning, because democracy is meant to be you present yourself with your argument and then the mass decides on your faith. But this consensus is people in shadowy rooms, closed rooms, making decisions. But that consensus marks the end of Tinubu's presidential ambition, or wouldn't you say, Solly?
Oh, I totally agree. Buhari
Mm,
is not going to pick Tinubu. I loved how we used to come here and argue over Tinubu, and it was very entertaining, very firing up. But the reality was, he was never going to pick Tinubu in the first place. Tinubu has sensed this from a very long time, because he's not a stupid man. He has
mm,
done this from a very long time. He has felt it, where he was just trying to play the safe game, not trying to go in aggressive, because he knows he's dealing with the North, you know. But at the same time, when you have an ideology, especially once you start reaching the age of over 40, we all remember Tinubu said he does not believe in one Nigeria.
mm,
I believe if they don't pick him, if he doesn't get this presidency, he's not going to start a new party or anything. He's just going to try to divide and break Nigeria, because that ideology still stands. And we know Tinubu is a man that has to change his mind for whatever he has to surpass for now.
mm.
He had the ideology back then. How do we know he does not have the ideology right now? So that's two things that will happen, that I see happening anyway. But I believe Buhari will choose someone like what's his name, Oshibanjo or Fayemi. I've been saying it since, one man, but you don't want to believe.
If they don't give Tinubu, then how do they give him a soft landing? How does he come back, pull back from this, and still
What
save
can he
face?
do? What
No,
can he
no,
do?
no,
Which
no.
soft landing?
Okay. But if it doesn't, if they don't give it to him, I don't think they'll be setting out to embarrass him either. But he
No,
has gone so deep into it that he wants to
they
be
won't
president.
embarrass him, but they
No,
won't give him
no,
respect.
no. But how are they able to negotiate him back from how far he has gone without him looking foolish in the public space, but them still not giving him, the
Okay,
ticket.
I
So how
understand.
do they? That's a
I
soft
understand.
landing. How do they ease him out without
I,
embarrassing him?
I believe at this point, Tinubu already knows that they won't pick him. He's a meter gauge. At this point, already about 80 to 90% sure that they won't pick him. So they are not going to embarrass him. Probably they are not going to shout about it. He will just slightly excuse himself out. He will be the one that will bring the narrative.
Yes,
That will be
yes.
the opportunity for him to just create his own narrative of how he exited. It will now be like, okay, I did this because I think this one, or he would probably be the one to create his own narrative, and you say something good about himself. He was thinking about this, thinking, and then probably now start supporting the new person that he will pick.
He will almost likely say that he has heard the calls of Nigerians for a generational shift and he's a patriot. He will use that
Yeah,
language. Yeah,
yeah, he's very good at doing things like
yeah,
that. I remember
yes.
when he
Can I
removed.
interject?
Yeah, come in,
Yes.
you go.
The only chance the APC had to lead this country again is only person like Osibajo. Aside him, nobody
I
will win
disagree.
election.
What
I
about Yaya
disagree.
Nobody
Bello?
will win
Eh?
Wait, now let
He,
me confess. I know you disagree. Nobody will win an election in APC come 2023 in this country because Nigerians have become more aware of all this leadership. Buhari lead us before in his 30s. We need a leader in this country. We ain't go day in his 30s, 40s, 50s,
okay,
not
Ego,
80 years, 70
Ego,
years.
can I ask you a
We
question?
Nigerians as youth, we should try to think, self, if we feel that we want a better country for ourselves. We should try to think outside the box. Say, okay, we are youth.
Yeah,
These
but
people, they
Oshibajo
run
is
this country when
63
they are
now.
youth.
How old is
Huh?
Fayemi?
Oshibajo is 63. Yaya Bello is 46. So
Fayemi.
your argument is for
The
Yaya
point
Bello now.
The point is that Osiba just demonstrated some level of leadership. Even when dollar was wanting, he was able to pump in some money into the bank. So he did some things as a leader then. So with that credit alone,
That
Nigerians
were
really vibe
financially
for him to an
catastrophic to the
extent
economy.
too. But today, the leader we need in Nigeria is a fearless and a straightforward young
But
Nigerian.
how many years old is Fayemi?
It's 57.
In their
So
50s is still okay, but 48, 40 plus, in their 50s is still okay. But when don't they reach all those kind 70, okay, in their early 60s, okay, if there are some vibrant like Osibajo, you can still do very well.
Oshibajo is
That is
65.
my only
Oshibajo
choice.
is
That's
65.
my only choice in the APC.
But
I know it's not part of it.
Oshibajo is not too far in age from Tinubu.
It's far. If you do the 8 years, never become age of Tinubu.
No, no, no.
If
Oshibajo
you
is
serve
65.
8 years,
Is
he will
65.
serve 8 years and still not 70. Ah,
No,
yes, he's 70 years.
it's 65. It's 65. 65.
65 now.
Yes.
But he's not. He doesn't look 65. He look very sharp
You
and
can look
youthful.
you can look anything now. Tinubu looks 90 and he's 70. So you can look anything now. So don't worry. So your argument is for Yaya Bello, really, not if you want a young person, then your argument is for Yaya Bello.
then APC will lose
Are you
woefully.
ready? Are you
But
ready for Yaya?
the difference that Toshiba
Hello?
No, we've lost Ajale Koko. Ajale Koko, your system is dipping in and out. But yes, back to you, Solid. They are trying to sideswipe Tinubu, almost already succeeded, because like you said, he's not a fool and he can read the signals.
Mm-hmm. You may
Look
not
at
be
it.
from Lagos, but more Yorubani.
Yes. Yeah, look at that. Well, you're eating a jekuje again. I can hear it. So let's take you to church, Tinubu, and not Tinubu, sorry, and especially to the RCCG. I don't know whether there will be a 2023 election yet. So it's the overseer of the Redeemed Church saying that in Adeboye, and a lot of people look to him for predictions for the future, which he is careful to speak, and maybe it's political calculations or whatever, but often instances he gets it right. But he is saying that he is not confident that there will be an election in 2023. So what are you then making of the pronouncement of the man of God?
One man, like you said, Once in a while, he gets it right. That's the point. That's the point. If he gets it right like this, is his following increases. If he gets it wrong, people will say, okay, they will have their own excuses. He's just doing what a pastor does, basically.
But what do you think is hesitant about saying there'll be? Why would he say
Because
that?
because they are just blood. I don't want to say
Because
they are just
the
talking.
elections is like 10 months away, and all the indications is that the preparations are in earnest. So why would he not be? Why would he be hesitant in that space when there's nothing to indicate that the elections would not hold?
Because he spiritually believes that God told him that will not happen. He,
Mm,
him,
mm.
him. He's telling people, and they are believing in what he's saying. That is what is happening. That is just his thoughts, and
All
that's
right.
just one man.
It's just curious because, for him to specifically say that, I don't know if the elections will happen yet, and we're in April now, the election in February. So that then that puts a question mark then because he has no need to even say that at all. All you
Yes, it's
expect
their
him to be saying is
strategy.
get,
One
yeah.
man, it's their strategy. That's why they prophesy. The moment it comes true, it's like playing gamble now. Obviously, you win some tickets. So obviously they will pour out a lot of prophecies, and surely they will catch one of it. And once they catch one or two, they shout about it so gloriously. They gain more followers into the church, which means more offerings, which means more donations, which means more popularity. It's just a continuous cycle. So one will surely go, and Adeboye would have said so many keywords, that would have gotten him to the level where he is. Nobody is just going to stand up and say, I start a church tomorrow, the next day my church has 300 or one. It's the person himself. It's what you say, how you say it, just like Hitler.
What do you make? God.
He was good with his words.
Yes,
you
yes,
know
to rally people. What do you make?
yes.
What do you make of the guy Adeboye? What are your thoughts of
Oh
him?
man,
And yeah,
it's just a pastor. It's just a pastor. You know. I don't think there's any one man. My uncle was a pastor.
you
I'm
know where
not.
the
I'm
lab
not.
you know where the lab
Ah,
is, eh?
yes. It's just religion.
It's
Human beings will always just want to believe in something. That's just how we are. You know.
Oh, all right, thank you, Solly. So, Solly, let's go on to Ajanle Koko, who hopefully has a system working perfectly now. So, Ajanle Koko, to you. Now, so we're starting you off with Yaya Bello, who promises to develop Nigeria like Kogi State and continue the legacy of Buhari. So, I'm not sure how that is an electoral campaign because the legacy of Buhari, I'm not sure that this is something that Nigerians want to continue. So, what are you then making of Yaya Bello's declaration speech? Ajanle Koko.
That speech is has completely um, it's a message to Nigeria that he is not the right person for that job. So that speech is to tell us that it's telling us his level of maturity, his level of incompetence, and is telling us that he doesn't understand the problem, and as such, it cannot find solution to the problem that Nigerians are going through.
You would have thought a clever politician would find the language to distance himself from Buhari, but not criticize him, because he knows that the country hates him, but he knows that he's his godfather, so he has to find a middle way language. But rather
Yes,
than find a middle way language, he's just lumped everything that I will just carry on as this guy that was killing you.
yes. This is a man that he has not paid the salary of workers for so many months in his
Yeah,
state,
yes, even 18 months going on 2 years.
and he's telling us that is the way he's going to run Nigeria. This is a man that a lot of people are waiting for him to get out of office so that a lot of things can be exposed against him. Corrupt practices that he perpetrated so far, they can use it. One of them is what do you call this senator?
Dino Melaye.
Dino Menaye.
Mm.
Dino Menaye all the time is saying he is ready for Yaya Bello. He said he has a lot of documents to use against this guy. So it's just tell us that these are some of the calibers that we have in APC that fit for no purpose, and Nigerians should think very wise before they vote. He is not the man for the job. He cannot do the job. And you can see the people that surrounds him. One of them is Fani Kayode. You can see that guy is eating big. He's making big money now.
That guy is.
That guy is.
Look
He
at that.
knows,
Oh,
yeah.
God.
He knows that if he
The
goes to
person
Tinubu,
that enjoys Nigeria the most is somebody
yes,
like Fani Kayode. He's just steady
That
collecting his own.
that guy should be
Steady.
in a mental hospital. That guy
He's not balanced, so he's not normal. It's not a
is a
even
narcissist.
even for Nigeria, he's a crazy man where
don't
everybody is a
Why
crazy.
don't
not? There
say
are too many crazy people in power,
Oh, yeah.
psychopaths, narcissists, too many mental people.
don't say that guy is not balanced. So his head correct. He know where to go. It's all after money. Oh. He knew that if he goes to Tinubu, he won't be able to have much influence over him. He won't be able to, make much money as he
Yes,
expected.
but Johnny Coco, that's the confidence of a psychopath.
If Atiku wins tomorrow, the day after, you'll see Fani Kayode in
He will go
Adamawa.
there.
He will
He
tell
will
you
there.
that my father was his father's friend. And I'll tell you know how he likes to blow his grammar. By the time he starts to blow grammar,
And he's
you
a
just
pathological liar.
he's
That's
the
a
biggest
narcissistic
liar.
psychopath.
It's an extreme, like you said, it's not normal. It's not It's not
So
normal.
he,
And
he,
to say a Nigerian is not normal is quite a thing because nobody is normal in Nigeria.
yeah, he know where to go, where he can make that money. Those that are real corrupt people in this government, I mean, in Nigeria today, in power, are his good friend. He's shuttling between what do you call it? Yaya Bello, Mia Malabuni. If you, I don't know if you have seen him defending Mia Malabuni on
Yes,
TV.
now he even went to his house.
Well, yeah,
When he was gathered with Mia Malabuni,
yes,
Pantami, and a
yes.
couple of others. Yeah.
Those are the people. That guy is when he like crooks. All
Remember
the
when he
crooks
told
in
us that
power.
he had Fulani blood in him? This is how far he's going.
That guy is crooks.
Somali.
You can read it.
Somali.
those young crooks like him in government in the position of power. Those are the ones do you see him jostling around and carotting around with, so that he can make his own too, can make his own money. So it's after money. That guy doesn't care. He doesn't care about anybody. As long as he can make money, he can.
And I'm not sure that he has ever done anything. I think he's lived man and boy off the name of his father. A lot of them like that in Nigeria. But he has essentially, I don't see any body of work that he was already a drug addict at Cambridge now. And that is how he has lived all the way through. But just off the back of his father's name, he has made a life.
Yeah, that's it. So Yaya Bello is not the man. People should not. It's good that he make that statement. That statement. A lot of people that we hear this statement will completely be put off completely from his side. But it is good. I like that statement is made. It's just a statement to tell Nigerians that you will be worse off if you vote for me. And
he set himself up.
Yes, he said, yeah, you. That's right.
He shot himself in the foot.
In the foot. You'll be worse off if you vote for me, and be ready for the worst and the worst. You have not seen the worst, but you will get the worst when you vote for me. That is what he's telling Nigeria. I think Nigerian people will be wise and know that is not the place to go.
All right, brilliant. Thank you. So, Tinubu, they are permutating possibly a consensus. Almost certainly, I don't see primaries holding in the APC, especially at the presidential level. I see them going for the consensus option because they've trialed it at the convention for the functionaries of the party. So they're looking now to have a consensus model for the presidential ticket and other key tickets. And if that goes through, certainly Tinubu, because then you just have a group of vested interest agreeing that this is the person to put forward. So if they do consensus, they are almost certainly not going to go for Tinubu. Tinubu fighting very hard for that not to happen. But they've cited instances that he's had this model in Lagos pretty much since 1999. So why should it not apply to him? But if there's a consensus, Tinubu doesn't get the ticket. But they have two options then, just to brutalize him out of the way or to give him a soft landing. So how do you then think that they will is Tinubu's ambition to facilitate for this consensus idea, Madam Lekoko?
Well, this consensus have to go with zone have to go with zoning as well. So if they want to do consensus, which zone are they going to pick the presidency from in the south?
Yes, they've not narrowed it. They've considered that it will be southern, but they've not narrowed it to the south, to where in the south. My inkling is that they want to give it to the south, to the south. So somebody like Amechi or their real favorite person, Goodluck Jonathan, would be the ideal choice, or Amechi, and then but Amechi is not sellable to people. That's the thing. Nobody likes him, you know.
Well, this consensus might come at the end to favor Tinubu. And why I said this is that if they want to do this consensus now, if they're looking for Amechi, Amechi is from South. So the people from Tinubu camp will argue that a South has been the president of this, was the person that Buhari took over. And why should they go that route where they don't have a strong support base? But all the same, the consensus have to go with zoning. They have to zone into a particular zone in the south. If they want to throw it open, that well, everybody in the south, then that have to be followed with primary. So we just have to wait for them and see the way
they're also saying they want a Christian lead and a Muslim vice.
A Christian lead and Muslim vice. Well, we don't know how they are going to do it. This APC is a party of it's a total. The way they run that party is not in line with democratic principle, democratic value. It's just autocratic way of doing things. We saw the way they did their convention recently. They forced people, some people on others. So like the report is saying, they might end up forcing.
What they are also saying, Ajan Lekoko, is that Tinubu's face does not fit with the future that they see and want for the country. Because Tinubu would essentially be, if they go for Tinubu, that will essentially mean holding the country down for yet another 8 years again, off the back of already holding it down for 8 years already. So they're saying that Tinubu is too old, with not the age bracket they want. His health, everybody, there's no equivocation. Even his daughter came out, is struggling health-wise, so he doesn't have the agility for the position. And the corruption, I mean, that is one association that a lot of people identify with him. So it just is too smelly. It is just what they are saying, that this guy, but then they have this loyalty to him just for everything that he has done for that party. But his face doesn't fit with the future that people see for Nigeria. So that is where that party is. How to ease, if Tinubu would voluntarily step down, that would be the best for them. But if he doesn't step down, they'll step him down. But they don't want to step him down forcefully. but is not going to get the ticket, is what they are saying.
Well, consensus is their practice. If they want to use it this time around on the presidential for presidential candidate, that is their practice. They can go ahead and use it. But it's just not a democratic way of running a political party. And what will surely happen in this kind of when this kind of practice is exercised all the time in a political party, it always tear party apart, because you will see some people will not be happy with a particular candidate that is imposed on them, and they will leave the party for another party. And we saw what played out during the convention, when some people cried and left that that convention with bitterness, and they walk out after being imposed with another person, to be for the position that they are vying for. So this time around, they will surely, they might do it, and if they edge out Tinubu, that will affect their party chance in winning the next presidential race in Nigeria. It will surely, because a lot of Yoruba people will be bitter. A lot of Yoruba people will not vote for that party, particularly those in APC.
That is why I said Fayemi. Fayemi is still a Yoruba man. So
Fayemi is not really a Yoruba man now. What Yoruba is Fayemi? It's like Yoruba Obasanjo style now, not proper Yoruba.
Isn't that perfect for them?
But is it perfect for us? It's not perfect for us now.
By the time
we have already had a
no.
We've already had a non-Yoruba in Obasanjo, and you saw what happened to us then. We had nothing. We didn't get any. Even the road to his own other fire.
It's only people your age that know that.
You don't know what happened.
They will just see a Yoruba man as candidate and they'll vote. That's all that satisfies them. If they don't even want Tinubu, in fact, they will even be happy that they removed Tinubu for this guy. They won't even care that they don't know him. They will just care that it's not Tinubu.
Let me tell you, even if they, a lot of politicians in Yoruba land will even kick against it, and Tinubu have a very strong weight in Yoruba politics. So
a lot of them have wanted him out of power for a long time. Isn't this a chance for which kick against it? The man, if he doesn't get this presidential ticket, he reduces his power somewhat.
Anyway. Yes. If they are going to even go for any other person in Southwest, that person must have indicated his intention for that position as well, not a person that is sitting on.
Yes. Okay. Now, see, Fayemi is not that kind of person that will just go and be shouting. He likes to go through the quiet method. He's the kind of person that will wait for them to select him.
You don't understand me yet. What I'm saying is that Fayemi have not bought form. He has not declared.
He's going to wait for them to select him.
To select before he got the form. Okay, let's wait and see. But what I'm saying is that if the edge at Tinubu is going to cause a very serious rancor within the party.
And they know that. That is why they were replacing with someone that will not make anybody.
It will still cause rancor, because the power base of APC, Tinubu is the how do I describe him? Is the engine room that is the power base of the party.
One man, nobody likes Tinubu. Everybody just tolerates him.
Wait now, I'm not saying that a lot of people, but when we are talking about the engine room, the power base of the party is centered around Tinubu. So if you take Tinubu out, there's going to be rancor among them, even in Yoruba land. A lot of like, what do you call it? What do you call this guy? Fashola is there to him. I say, okay, he want to go as well. Some other people might say they want. So there's going to be.
Oshibajo will leave. If they don't give it to Tinubu and Oshibajo doesn't give it, Oshibajo he will just retire from politics and go back to lecturing.
And go back to his legal service. So if they don't give it to Tinubu, it's going to cause a very serious rancor among them, even in that Yoruba land. The one they want to favor, they are going to, Yoruba people in APC will want to regard that person as imposition on them. They will say, let us choose the person we want from the West. If you don't want Tinubu, okay, let us choose whoever we want to represent us. You are not the one to say, this is the person you want. You understand what I'm saying? So
and how do you even sell Fayemi in the north? Nobody knows him there. Nobody
One
knows
man,
him in
that's
Igbo
the
land.
point. That's the point of
Nobody
Buhari.
knows him in
One man. If Buhari mentions somebody's name like this, the whole country knows. That is the point of him being selected. If Buhari selects a candidate, Buhari selects a candidate, the whole country will know that person that same day. So what are we saying? We did not accepting. Buhari has always had, is it not between 10 to 15 million? Even though he was losing, he used to have at least 10 million votes. Check it.
I know.
Wait. Even though he was losing, so he has votes that are well behind him. The reason why he won this term was because
he doesn't have those votes anymore because it's been demythified in office. So it doesn't carry the weight you think it still does.
We did not.
Yes.
We did not.
Do you not come here all the time when we hear northern voices criticizing him?
That's just talk. At the end of the day, we know what they will do.
It's just talk.
They
thought, you know why they support Buhari? They thought he was a Spartan man, a Puritan, a man of theology, a man of honesty and uprightness. All of this they've now found it's not. It is not the person they thought it was now. So they did, and these people, it's not him they support, it's those ideologies they support.
And if he says he find them in Fayemi, what are they
when he's not in himself, he finds it in Fayemi. Fayemi is Fanika, you know, it's just the same sort of element.
This is politics. They are still going to lie again, and people believe they are lying. This is how Nigeria has been run for a long time. Even Jonathan was a kind of Nigerian, president. In Obasanjo, we had Nigerian type of president. They will not give it to a full Western person or a full Eastern person. They want a Nigerian Western person or a Nigerian Eastern person.
Let me tell you this. You see, Buhari is still in power. That's why you're seeing them still saying Sai Baba.
And he's going to select his candidate while he's still in power. And they will still Sai Baba.
Hold on. If you say you can impose whoever you want, but the day he step out of office or after imposing whoever you want, the reaction of the people is what you cannot predict. Nobody can predict that because their party has failed. The whole of the north is worse off than when he took over the power. So the way the Northern are going to react, I believe is going to be very, very, very bad against their party this time because they failed even the North than any other part of the country. So what I'm seeing in this APC presidential bid, one man, I want to guarantee you, if they go the route of consensus candidate, that party will tear apart. They are not do it. If they go the route of this thing, the party will, because there's no one they are going to pick that will satisfy everybody. Even Tinubu himself.
And people are so invested that if they have primaries and you lose, you know that you've had a fair fight.
Yes.
But you don't get a fair fight and they tell you to step down and be happy. We saw what happened the last consensus. Every single person crying like a baby.
Yes. Like a baby. That is just for the party office, not the most powerful position. You see people crying just for the party office. People are crying. So Even Tinubu, if Tinubu is the one that is finally picked by the president, that this is the person, there's still going to be problem in the party. So they dare not go
I
there.
don't think there'll be as much problem as if he doesn't pick Tinubu, because all of the sensitization in that space is that Tinubu
But
will
one man, these
succeed.
are not people that care. You up to this point, do you think they still care?
Care
They
about
don't
what?
care
Care about
about
what?
anything. About, oh, you think that is going to scatter the party? You think they've scattered the country? Isn't that
No,
about
no,
party?
they are telling us that if they set Tinubu aside, heavens will not fall. So they are prepared for the backlash of it.
Yes, they
But
are.
what will happen is, if because you know that the APC is a confluence of so many vested interests. So if some people feel that their interest is no longer served in that association, in that club, then they'll simply pull out. Now I just see I see APC reverting back to those individual parties that converge to seize power. You know, because if you want to turn it into CPC, then if you're an AC, an ACN, or an APGA, then you don't want to be CPC now, so you just simply go back to your structures. You know, so it's just an anti-democratic party. That's just the thing. There's no such thing as democracy within that space, Majan Lekoko.
Yeah, there's no,
Oh, but there was never
they
any
don't practice.
democracy in that country, though.
Yeah.
So they don't practice, democracy in that party. And if they want to go these routes, I believe it's going to hurt them more. And if finally that is what they want to use, and if they don't pick Tinubu, that will just serve him that the kind of tablet that he forced on people's throats in Lagos by imposing candidate of his choice on the party. He just have to take it that if they're forcing such a tablet on his throat too, you just have to accept it at the national level, because he has used it over time in Lagos State and is still using it up to today. With regard to that, what is referenced in that report, that is what he used that brought Fashola to power. That is what he used that brought Ambode to power. That is the same method he used that brought Sanwo-Olu to power. So if those that are powerful than him want to use the same thing for him at the national level now, he just have to abide by it. But I know that it will not go. It will surely tear their party apart. They have to. The new executive of the party have to very transparent, because already there's really there are crises, serious crisis within that party right now. The last one is the last convention they had. People that went back home in anger, they are still there. We don't know what they are planning to do against the party. So those ones are there. Before that convention, there are about 10 states that have lawsuits against each other there. They have lawsuits. They have cases at the court because of the position of chairmanship and executive position in their different states. So that one is there. It's still pending. The one for the what do you call it? The one of the convention, that one is pending. So are they going to bring in another crisis into and add it up with already the one they have on the ground? That will tear the party apart. It will tear them apart, because the executive that just assumed office there, all they need to do is to do this reconciliation among all the factions around the country within the party, and come out clean on how they are going to manage this pursuit for candidates for their party. They have to be transparent. It has to be they have to create a level playing field for everybody to go to the primary and contest, so that whoever win and whoever loses, everybody will see themselves that yes, they tried their best and they'll be ready to support each other. So, but if you want to use consensus, one man, it is not going to go down well with anybody. Even if Tinubu is actually the one, let's say is the one they want to finally pick, it's still going to be problem. And they dare not try it. They dare not try it.
All right. I think it's easier for that party just to give it to Tinubu. It works out neater for them, you know. But I don't know. We'll see how it plays out.
Why are you saying that, one man? Why do you say it is imposition? You don't
No,
impose.
it's not.
You
Yes,
don't
it is.
impose. You
If you
don't
are going to,
impose the interest of one person against the of one person against the interest of many. You don't do that. That is not democratic way of.
no, the reason why I said that is that if they are going to go that route, the biggest fallout is not giving it to Tinubu. The biggest backlash will be from not doing that. And giving it to Tinubu, the backlash is going to be a lot more manageable than if they did not. So if they give it to Tinubu and they've already zoned it to the south, who in the south will then come and be backlashing? Is it Oshibaju or
Mhm,
Amechi or
mhm,
Amechi? So or
mhm.
Fayemi? So they're
I
really
agree.
weak people. But if they
I
don't
agree
give
with
it to
you.
yeah. But
I
really, I
agree with
don't
you.
agree that they should have a consensus. So they should have the primaries.
You have the primary.
Yeah,
Everybody
but
go and sort it
their
out.
biggest problem is Tinubu. That's just it. They don't want him, but he's not moving from the space. You know, so that's the
Yeah.
thing. We see how they manage that. The ultimately we might. I won't be surprised. Would you be surprised if you hear him say he's stepping down?
Oh man, look. Oh man, the internet will blow up, man. People will make mockery of him very
Mm,
big league, man. Particularly we, the Yoruba Nation people,
mm.
and everybody that you know, it's gonna be they will be making mockery of him. We will say, okay, this is what they have been telling you. That this is what they are going to do to you, but you stick your neck, you allow yourself to be used, and now you are dumb, and and now you are saying you are stepping
Actually,
down.
Coco, it's you
Eh?
that is making mockery of him, not the people.
No, he
No,
will become a
that
These
joke
are
does,
your
figure.
words. Yeah. I
Ajani
don't think
Koko is
people will
right.
care.
No, he
I
will
yeah,
think
become
they'll
a
just be
joke.
happy that he's out. They
No,
won't
yeah,
be
no,
making up.
no. In the party, they will be happy, but
yes.
in the nation, he will become a joke figure
It'll be a joke.
because he has backed this administration through some very dark, very silly,
Yes,
evil things that they have done. He has
yes,
backed them,
yes,
all in the hope that he will get that ticket. So if they don't
yes.
give him now, he'll become a joke figure.
It become a joke, and we'll be saying, Sultan, all this money you are giving them in the north when the market born, all these things that you didn't give us money in the southwest when we had the Gogon case, when we have the market fight in Ibadan or something like that. You are taking money. What did you get out of it? Ofo, Ojo Keji Oja. So, man, look, it's gonna be, and that will affect his political empire. That will be the
That will
end
even
of his
affect his health personally. I suspect it could tip him over the you know now
yes.
only Babylon now.
That
You
will
wait
affect,
yeah only Babylon.
yeah, that will affect his political empire. That will be the end. That will destroy his political empire because, I mean, what else can he do? The political, some other people will say, well, he cannot, let me form my own group too. So you see his political empire in the southwest will start breaking apart. That will be the end of him politically, and and that's it. Oh, I'll be one of those that will be so happy, man.
Yeah,
We're gonna be so happy.
because I don't think money is enough anymore for they can't pay more. What more money can you pay him off to say? So he can't be bought off now.
Yeah,
He bought them the presidency, so he's rich
yeah,
enough.
yeah,
But because that's the one thing that is left for him. You know,
yes,
he has made all of the the Lagos State Treasury is his own
yeah,
personal bank account.
yeah,
So and Lagos,
and and
so that's yeah.
that will energize PDP and other political party to come up strong against him in Lagos State
Mm,
and in the West. in entirety to confront his political empire and want to bring him down. That yes, this is what we've been telling you. You don't listen. You think you're wiser. You narrow. You only have your head. Your head is only.
Do you think if they don't give it to Tinubu, the APC will lose the Yoruba vote, even if they give it
Oh
to
yeah, yeah. They
Shibanjo
will
or
lose. They
Fayemi
will
or
lose.
whoever? If they don't give, they will lose Yorubas.
It will.
They will lose.
People
They will
that
lose. I'm
people
telling
people
you.
that people that really strong Tinubu followers and those that really love him to the heart will not come out to vote.
What if Tinubu says that they should vote?
He can't get the vote of all of them.
Uh,
Yes. Let me tell you,
that
that
are
is how.
loyal to him. You just said that they are loyal. So if they doesn't get the vote
No,
of
you
them,
don't
then
know
that means
what
they
it
are being
means. You don't
disloyal.
know. You don't know what loyalty means. When it comes to situation like this, yes, it will not get all of them. Some will say the person being appointed as a Yoruba man was they will accuse him of treachery.
I know some Tinubu followers. It's like a cult following, you know, like some Guru Maharaji something.
Yes.
Yes,
It's quite disturbing the way they
yes.
follow that. It's fanatical, like
You,
Nnamdi Kanu sort of following.
you see, let me tell you
Challenging
this.
Yeah,
Tinubu to them is very mythical.
it's like a religion, isn't it?
They will conclude that whoever that is speak from the southwest, they will accuse that person of treachery. That is the way Yoruba carry out a campaign of calumny against. They will say, "Oh, he played a treachery role against Tinubu. He was the one playing that thing behind. He was colluded with the North. He's been bought over by the North to sacrifice the interests of Yoruba land. Tinubu is the one that is trying to do well for Yoruba land and they will be saying a lot of things, so that." They can call that person that he acted treacherous against Tinubu and against the interests of Yoruba people. So it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough, but they just don't crisis after crisis in that party. I believe we tear that party apart, and that is what we are seeing in APC. Crisis after crisis, crisis after crisis, because of position. And even though that they have not governed well, they have not done well for Nigerian people. But you see the politician, because they know that money there, once they get to a position of authority, they can lose. That's why they want to kill themselves. So there's big crisis in the party now. They cannot go the way of imposition this time or consensus for the presidency. They have to let it go, zone it as they zone it to the west, to the south. Let all Southerners that pick from, let them go to the primary and let somebody, emerge, and then everybody will rally around at that person and they will all be ready and prepare for election. So that's the way I think they
Oh,
should
oh,
go.
all right, brilliant. So, Najanle Koko, this is Adeboye speaking, the pastor of the Redeemed Church. I don't know whether there will be 2023 election yet. So you say that is just an ambiguous, nondescript, middle of the road statement. But really, is it? Because he has no reason to say that. We are 10 months away from the elections. INEC has released their schedules. The parties are having their conventions to cascade into the primaries. All the runners and riders are indicating their interest. So everything is calibrating towards that election taking place. But this senior figure within faith is telling you that he doesn't know if the election will take place. So why would he say such a thing, Ajan Lekoko?
One man, if you may recall, this is not the first time that Baba Adeboye has expressed his uncertainty on 2023. He said it some months ago that during interview with a reporter, he said it that, are you sure that are you sure that Nigeria will still be in existence in 2023? That is the question he asked. That, are you sure? Do you think Nigeria will still be in existence in 2023? He said that. So
Just talk.
Huh?
He's just talking.
He's
What
just...
does he know? What does he know?
Okay. So you remember that
ọmọdé òmùgọ̀ ń pèlè fọ́.
He should back up his words.
Look at this
He should
guy.
back up his words.
Ọlọ́run níjọ́ ọmọ. Look at this guy.
One man. Did you remember that when he was?
Yes, I remember. So this is not the first time that he has indicated uncertainty that that election may not hold. And a lot of people, Lord Michael is always coming here to say, what election? Are you sure? So not everybody is confident that that election will hold. And I'm not quite sure why they are of that thought, because there's nothing to suggest that it would not.
Yeah. You see, the way things, the whole situation in Nigeria, politically, security-wise, economic-wise, the future looks very, very bleak. It's just not normal. The way things are, the way the country is being run by this administration, we cannot see the future. What does the future hold for us? Nobody can see it. Nobody can predict it. If we are in a state of unpredictable, we cannot predict what the future holds for us in that country. What does the future hold for us politically? It's unpredictable because there is crisis everywhere. So when an elderly person and a religious man is telling us that God always speaks to him when election is on the way and confirm to him that, yes, there is going to be election, but this time he has not confirmed to him. We have to wait until maybe God will confirm to him.
And then you now start predicting who is going to be president. Why can't he predict when Nigeria is going to be good?
But what from
not funny now. Anytime bad news, bad news.
Yeah, you see, you don't hear any good news from that country. So that is the problem. That is the problem. We don't know the direction we are going in that country. So the situation is, the future is very unclear, and we can't see. Nigeria is in a state of uncertainty right now. So from the psychological point of view, it's telling me that we can see that things are not really, really normal. And when you have a country where you cannot predict the future, people will speak this way. A lot of people doesn't know how 2023 election is going to go. A lot of people cannot predict it. Other than even predict what does the country owe for us for next month and month after that and throughout the whole year, we cannot predict it. Who can you predict that? Can you ever predict that diesel can be the price of diesel can be so high in Nigeria? Can you ever predict that when BUHARI came in, that our insecurity will be worse off today? Yes, can you ever predict that when BUHARI was coming in, that the economy will be worse off like this today? Nobody. So 2023, nobody can predict. We don't know. We don't know what will happen. So that's from the psychological point of view. But from the spiritual point of view, it's different. They speak according to what to instruction they get from God. So, and he's telling us that God have not shown to him, making reference to the one in the past that God always tell him beforehand, So we just have to wait for him. But it is very, very clear, that Nigeria is in a state of uncertainty when you want to look at the economy, the political situation. When you look at every other thing, we don't know what's going to happen. If Nigeria, as of today, is servicing her debt with over 90% of our revenue, and Nigeria will continue borrowing, and they continue borrowing, and it hit over 100%, that we have to be servicing our debt with 100%. Where would they get the revenue to share among states as federal allocation? If that does not happen anymore, maybe by the end of the year, they don't have no money to disburse down to the state and local government. What do you think is going to happen in Nigeria? There's going to be mass retrenchment. People are going to lose jobs. How can you hold the country together where almost 100% of the people loses their job? We are going to have the state of our insecurity will be worse off than what we have today. And when you don't have, when you have a country with large population, 200 million, and large percentage of them are jobless, the crime rate will be high and trouble will be everywhere, problem everywhere. So we don't know. We cannot predict what is going to happen in 2023. So we cannot be looking at politicians running up and down and allow that to be clear our reasoning that, oh, yes, everything look good, that there's going to be 2023. We don't know. We don't know yet. The economic reality of it show that Nigeria is not going a very good direction. Companies are closing down. They are moving out of some of them, the big ones that you think they are making money in Nigeria, like Shell. If Shell can leave, it's telling us a message that things are not good over there again. If Camry, what do you call Guinness, leaving, even Nestle, those ones are planning to go to Ghana now. All the big companies that create big job for Nigerians are leaving. It tells us that the economy is not good, and we don't know what the future holds for us, woman. So Baba Adeboye is confirming it once again. This is not the first time. He said it earlier, some months ago, and he's saying it again. And we just have to wait and see what is going to happen, woman.
All right, thank you, Ajande Koko. Ajande Koko, let's go on to Grant and take him to Voodoo Money. So, Grant, good to have you. So, this comes as no surprise to anybody. Anti-graft agency EFCC arrest Cubana chief priest over alleged money laundering tax evasion. So, that Voodoo Money space, these elements that suddenly happened into space, just sudden money, billions of dollars, flashing money all over the place, throwing money at people on the streets, acting loutish and like a Adegunle sort of manner. Yeah, the country has enough. EFCC starting to round them up. So what are you then making then of the authorities weighing down on the Obi Kubana set, Grant?
Oh, well, good morning, everybody. Sorry, man.
Good afternoon.
Oh, good afternoon. Okay, so, well...
do you follow that space even? All those Voodoo Money people, Obi Kubana, E-Money.
Yeah, it's right on the internet, right?
Yeah.
So everybody, I think everybody knows about it.
Yes.
Yeah. So again, is the EFCC, right? So I don't even know. Nobody knows what the EFCCs are doing right now. So I can't even tell if what they are saying is true, is wrong, because they've been catching people and then they will let them go. So it's just the situation of the whole Nigerian space.
Do you
You know,
find that space in poor taste, that Obi Kubana and his bodies, the way they are, the way they conduct themselves, do you find it somewhat in poor taste?
uh, I just feel everybody have a way to express themselves, right? So I wouldn't say maybe they are, of course they are the kind of loud people, right? So they are pretty much very loud, and then I don't know what really or what they are doing, per se. So I won't be able to, I won't judge in that. I wouldn't say anything in that aspect because I don't really know. So it's the EFCC who is supposed to, okay, let us know exactly what's going on, let us know who they are and all stuff like that. But again, it boils down to the whole Nigerian space of what's going on in the whole country. So it affects the EFCC as well. Are they going to do the right job? They don't do the right job, stuff like that. So I don't know. I don't know, to be honest.
Oh, all
Yeah.
right. And the APC mulling over possibly adopting a consensus candidate. The permutation is that this is not going to favor Tinubu and anti-Tinubu stance somewhat. So if they adopt consensus, Tinubu is that of the space. But then how do they handle that Tinubu question to still get what they want? What are you making? And is it even undemocratic somewhat? I know the constitution and the rules facilitate for it, but the consensus essentially just a few people agreeing that this is the person. So what are you then making of this idea coming out of the APC consensus to ease Tinubu out?
Well, I think with the whole thing, the way the things are going right now, I think Baba is the one who wants to. I don't know if he wants to rule or he wants to impose people on the party. I don't think that's the right way to go. But again, if they do the consensus thing, Tinubu is going to be a very big problem for him, definitely. And the least thing he wants right now is for him not to get the ticket. Because if he doesn't get the ticket, then it's going to be the mockery, the disgrace.
Yeah, how does he handle that? How does he handle not
Exactly.
getting it? Because he's been so public about his want for it. So how
Yeah.
does he handle not getting it?
The only fear I have is, him. If he doesn't get it, it might affect his health, most likely. And then Lagos as well is just going to be a mess. Because even Lagos, I'm not sure if it's going to hold on to Lagos. And even I know now people are saying that what's his name, the current Lagos State governor wouldn't be staying there for 8 years. Right, so he would also want to fight back. So with that happening, he would probably I won't even deal with this. I don't want him to take me out. So it's going to be like a mess in the whole.
Do you think Sanwo-Olu should get a second term
I
going
don't think so.
off the back of NSAS?
I don't think so, man. I don't think so. No, not for someone. Someone is not. Is nowhere close, man. I think the appointment of someone is not the best. I think it was a little bit. I think it was wrong, kind of. It's not a
Who do you
commanding.
think is better, Sanwo-Olu or Ambode?
Oh, Ambode, yeah. Ambode for me, though. In terms of both of them, if I would take one, yeah, I would take Ambode for sure. I feel Ambode is better, or even I think even someone lose Hamzat. Hamzat probably might even do. I don't know. I'm just saying. I feel he's more.
Do you think Sanwo-Olu is too weak, just as a personality, to be a governor of a state as important as Lagos?
Well, yeah, I feel he's a little bit, cold. He's not. He doesn't have that Lagos thing. I'm not seeing that in him.
Do you think it's too much of an Omadadi? He will have to go to Tinubu even before he goes to use the toilet. He has to.
Yeah. In fact, Tinubu got the exact person he wanted for himself.
Yes.
That would just say, okay, hey, do it this way, and he would just be nodding his head everywhere he goes. So yeah. Yeah, you're right. That's why I said Hamza, because I know Hamza is a grassroots politician. He wouldn't even he wouldn't even take all those things from him as well. So yeah, uh, yeah, it's gonna be like a total mess. And I feel when you look at it from where Pastor Adebayo is coming from, when you look at it from there, you can easily see at least a little bit of a glance of what's going on, within the party and within Nigeria, and see what's going on and see, do you really think these 2023 elections are going to hold? Because the way it's going, if you take Tinubu,
What is your sense of that question? We are 10
yeah,
months
so
away.
yeah, so but where I'm looking at it is, if you take Tinubu out of the picture, he'll also be like, okay, let's cuckoo scatter the whole thing now, and then he was going to have a lot of supporters if he decides to do that, So, and then Buhari, of course, he's going to always sentimental, going to one side, So it's just going to go. It's going to be a loggerheads between everybody, and then the whole thing will just be a mess. That's where I see it from, though. Anyways, So yeah.
Well, all right, thank you. And Yaya Bello for president, he
Oh,
promises to
oh
carry on
man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Oh man, one man. I don't get it.
he wants to turn Nigeria to Kogi
To
State.
Kogi, I'm
Look
like,
at
you
that.
want to turn Nigeria to Kogi? Would you just look for somewhere else to say? You say you want to turn
No
Nigeria to Kogi.
salary, no development, no nothing,
How would
still
you even say you
everything.
want to turn Nigeria to Kogi? Can't you just look for another state or another country and say, okay, I'll turn it to US or turn it to, you say you want to turn it to Kogi? Who wants Nigeria to be like Kogi? Nobody, man. It's just
Kogi
another,
people even don't want to be like Kogi, never mind. Yeah.
it's just another, I don't know. You see, in fact, one man it's just a mess in Nigeria, man. Believe me, it's not even it's just the whole space, the whole thing. Everything is just, you don't even know how to.
I cannot wait for this 2023 to come and then we know where we are. So, like you said, so we know if we're just going to dabaru everything or if we're still holding on to, because this is probably going to be the most important election that's yet been had in that country because people are fed up. People want to have charge of their own country. And if Malam Buhari wants to Fulani it all the way through to continue to force himself upon one way or the other, then enough is enough now. I'll be Otito now. So
uh,
we've not, yeah.
yeah, I agree. Enough is
Yeah,
enough.
yeah.
It's just, you can imagine from 2015 all the way to 2023.
It's been a nightmare all the way
You can
through.
you
A
can you can
nightmare.
you can imagine, people are suffering. People have suffered a lot. Lives are lost. So many things have happened. You can just imagine that, man. It's oh man. In fact, Nigeria, I don't know. Yeah, every day you every
What is your anticipation for 2023? How do you see that space playing out?
it's just going it's going zigzag. I don't really know the route it's going right now. It's going, one day is like this, the other day is the other way around. So I can't even tell. I can't even
But
tell.
what is your own ideal scenario? What would you like to see play out? What will be pleasing for you come
Oh,
2023 to say yes, I can work with this. That this is hope. Yeah.
if we can get a very good president, you know, and again, I don't see it playing out because is looking like it's going to be like the article and the Tinubu coming out. That's ways. But again, at one point, it's not looking like that right now. So that's why I said I never. But I would like a better candidate to come in.
Mm.
Yeah, I would like a better candidate to come.
Describe that person, not necessarily give a name, but who would you say that this is a good president for Nigeria? What and who would that person be?
I would like it to be a leader. Someone who is who is not self-centered. Because most of these leaders, most of them are just self-centered. They want for their pocket all the time. Someone who is selfless, who just wants the growth of Nigerians. Who just want Nigerians to do well. You just want the nation to do well. That is all that is in your head. Let's just make this country good. That is the kind of leader that we want. Someone who is selfless. Not someone who is always okay, one for the pocket or one for his family or one, that is where the problem is. That's my take.
All right, thank you. So interesting times. What marvels me is that it's so unpredictable. You just with certainty have a thought one day, and then the next day that thought you completely discountenance it to have a different thought. You say almost guaranteed Tinubu. They have kicked Tinubu out of the party. They are going with Oshibanjo. They are not coming to the south. They are looking to retain it in the north. And then they are going now with Rotimi Amechi, who they have turbaned. They are going to bring some obscure name and play a last-minute joker. Is Atiku right or not for PDP? Are they going with the southern thing? Or, so it's just not. You can't predict it.
You
You
can't.
see,
Yeah,
it's
I even
just
saw. I even saw a Mifili. I saw bosses that posted a Mifili. I was like,
yes.
what's going on? So I don't
Do you,
even
do, you-
know
do you
what's
know
going on.
do you know what Emefele's slogan is? Murphy 2023. This is a Murphy. This is it now. Murphy for president. This is
I don't.
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
even know. I don't
Bob
even know
Murphy.
Bob Murphy, pardon me. Yeah,
I don't
closely.
even. I don't even know what's going on. But what I'm even seeing is maybe are you sure they won't just, because these guys are very funny. Are you sure all of them will not just rally around and then move to Atiku if Atiku comes in, and then they will just be like, okay, let's just go behind Atiku and do this thing and take it back to the north.
There's a theory that says that promises has been made to Atiku to quieten him down for that election that he won in 2019, but they stole from him. So I think that was one of the promises made to him. And I know that they've been having meetings in recent times, the APC top functionaries and
You see?
Atiku. So there's a theory that they really want to give it to Atiku.
You
So they
see?
will find some feeble southerner to go against him. So that's part of the anti-Tinubu strategy. Because if they had Tinubu, it makes it that much more difficult for them to give it to Atiku. But then are the PDP even going to give that ticket to Atiku? And if they don't give it to him, who in the south is strong enough for them to give it to? You know?
Oh man.
It's
I don't know,
it's
but this is very interesting. Anyways, it's really
yes.
interesting.
Oh,
The
all
only
right,
problem I
brilliant.
have with that country is every day you keep hearing bad news, bad news, bad news. You see that we can't even hear. At least I was thinking maybe if we got the World Cup, right? Maybe we would have had
Yeah.
something nice for once.
To escape, or you use that one to escape at least for a few weeks to
Exactly,
forget
exactly,
everything. But no.
exactly.
Eh?
But even at that, we couldn't even get that too.
It's Buhari now. Buhari's bad luck. You know what it is, huh? That's the thing, eh? Although there were too many British players in the Nigerian team, I thought, So yeah,
Yeah. You're right.
yeah. They will turn it into fish and chips. They've turned Nigerian football into fish and chips. So look
I'm
at
telling you.
that. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Grant. So thank you, Grant, and thank you, gentlemen. So we come to the end of the afternoon session. It's usually a short one. Always enjoyable, of course. Delighted in the company of Soli, Ajanle Koko, and Grant, some of your favorite voices in play. Hopefully, we hear more from them in the evening session. But the conversation carries on in the comment section, as you know. So we leave it here. Carry that conversation on in the comment section. But here, I say peace.